Today, we're diving into the story of a man who was, well, a walking contradiction. A simple fisherman who became a revolutionary leader. A man of bold faith who also committed a profound betrayal. He was an impulsive follower who was somehow renamed the Rock. So that's the big question, isn't it? How does an ordinary working guy go through such a radical transformation? It's a journey filled with incredible faith for sure, but also some pretty stunning failures. To really get it, we've got to go back to the very beginning. You see, to understand the Rock, we first need to understand the man. And his story doesn't start in some grand temple or a palace. Nope, it begins on the shores of the Sea of Galilee with a call that would, quite literally, change the course of history. Before he was Peter, he was just Simon, a fisherman from a town called Bethsaida, working the nets with his brother Andrew. He was a family man, married. And this part is key. He wasn't some religious scholar or a political heavyweight. He was a regular guy, a common worker, who somehow gets invited into the inner circle of this revolutionary movement. And this is the moment where everything just pivots. Jesus doesn't tell Simon to stop being who he is. He completely reframes his identity. He takes the one thing Simon knows inside and out, fishing, and turns it into this powerful new mission. He wasn't just going to be catching fish anymore. He would be gathering people. And this is a theme you're going to see again and again in his story. This extraordinary calling placed on a totally ordinary life. His whole journey starts not by leaving his world behind, but by having his work completely transformed. But as we're about to see, answering that call was anything but a smooth ride. Yeah, Simon's path was definitely not a straight line to the top. This next section, Faith and Falter, really gets to the heart of who this guy was. A man of incredible, mountain-moving faith who was also, prone to some very human mistakes. Just look at the two sides of the coin here. On one side, you have this faith that is so bold, he's the very first one to declare Jesus as the Christ. He even tries to walk on water. But then there's the other side. This human weakness that leads him to argue with Jesus, to lash out in anger, and in his absolute darkest moment to deny he ever knew him. This constant tug of war is what makes his story so real and so compelling. But out of all his fumbles and failures, one of them stands completely apart. This wasn't just a slip-up in the heat of the moment. No, this was a complete and total collapse of courage, a prophecy fulfilled at its absolute lowest point. 3. This number just hangs over Peter's darkest hour. It represents 3 chances to show loyalty, 3 opportunities to stand with the person he promised his life to, and 3 devastating failures. What makes it even more gut-wrenching is that Jesus told him it was going to happen. Can you just imagine the weight of that moment? Hearing that rooster crow and realizing that the thing you swore would never, ever happen just did. The failure was absolute. A moment of total failure like that could have been the end of the story, but it wasn't. His reaction wasn't to get defensive or just give up. It was pure, profound heartbreak. The fact that he wept bitterly shows us that his spirit, while totally broken, wasn't hardened. And that genuine sorrow, that was the crack where grace could get in. Because failure wasn't the end of his story, not by a long shot. In fact, it became the very thing that allowed him to be rebuilt, even stronger than before. This next part is all about how he was forged into a rock. So after the resurrection, Jesus finds Peter by a fire, probably a lot like the one where he denied him. And what happens next is this incredibly powerful, deliberate act of healing. For each of his 3 denials, Jesus gives Peter a chance to affirm his love. This isn't about shaming him. It's a careful, intentional restoration. And here it is. The promise is finally fulfilled. That name change from Simon to Peter, which means rock, it's sealed right here in this moment of forgiveness. His greatest failure didn't disqualify him. Instead, it became the very foundation for his new identity and his new mission. And the results of this transformation were just immediate and undeniable. This was not the same fearful man who was hiding by the fire. This was Peter the Rock, preaching with so much power that 3,000 people were baptized in one day, healing the sick, and boldly opening the doors of the church to non-Jews. He became the leader, the undisputed leader of the apostles. So why does his story still hit so hard thousands of years later? Well, let's break down some of the key lessons from his incredible journey. His life really gives us a powerful blueprint for growth. We see his humility right at the beginning when he recognized he wasn't worthy. We see the incredible courage that was born out of his restoration. We learn about the power of genuine repentance from his bitter tears. And in his final mission, we see that real leadership isn't about being in charge, it's about serving others. But if you boil it all down, Peter's story is a testament to one profound truth. Failure is not final. It doesn't have to be the thing that takes you out of the game. When it's met with real repentance, it can actually become the foundation for grace and a brand new purpose. And so his story leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? He shows us that our absolute lowest points can become the bedrock for our greatest strengths. So when we're faced with our own failures, the question is, are we going to let them define us, or are we going to allow them to refine us?
Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. If you want to dive deeper into this and other topics, please go find the Source channel, Daily Devotion with Brother Enoch on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to their channel, share their videos, and leave a comment to support the great work they're doing.